Hit the circle at the top.
Which one?
The circle over there. No, not that one. Yeah, right there. That's yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here?
Yeah.
Okay, we are live on several different platforms, so thank you guys for your patience. We are available on Bigo Live, we're YouTube, of course, Facebook. We are live on TikTok. So, sometimes it gets kind of hectic where we had to make sure that we're live on all of those different platforms. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Today's topic is life after Trump, prosecuted, disbarred, or exposed. And so to me, this is like stay tuned to see what's going to happen. Now, this has been a rough 9 months. It's been rough, guys, but it's going to get even worse. But you have to think about what's going to happen after he leaves office. Okay. So that's what we want to keep in mind, what's happening afterwards. Okay. And he can only serve 2 terms. So we'll see what happens.
Let me see it.
Guys, for joining us and being a part of the J&B family. We appreciate your support. Go ahead and hit like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to get started with this topic. So, what do you think about the ones that are committing crimes right now while Trump is in office? Do you think, they probably can get immunity right now, or not necessarily immunity? If they get locked up, he would just pardon them or grant them clemency. But what about after he's out of office? What do you think is going to happen to those people? Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to J&B Live. I am your girl, your favorite auntie, Dr. B. So welcome to J&B Live.
And I'm your boy, your uncle, that guy, Broker J3. What's going on, family? Appreciate you guys joining us this evening.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. So tonight we're going to dive deep. Life after Trump, prosecuted, disbarred, or exposed. This may happen. This is a possibility. We're going to talk about what happens when the shield falls after the Trump era, or that glass breaks for the president's team, his administration, his advisors, his lawyers, his officials. Some of them know they breaking the law, but they don't even care right now. So there are some big names out there, and then there's big exposure, guys.
Exactly. But first, let's get to some of the basics. We'll define some of the terms and set the legal landscape so you guys totally understand where we'll be coming from this evening.
Okay, guys. So when we've said a term NPR in our talk, that does stand for the National Public Radio. This is a nonprofit American media organization. And if we mention OBP, that stands for the Oregon Public Broadcasting, which is a public media network that's based in Oregon. So what we do is when we bring you this information, we bringing it to you real and we bringing it to you raw. But these are quoted information. This is nothing where we're just pulling a rabbit out of our hats. These are actually quoted from these various outlets. Okay, so they are public media outlets.
Exactly. And so when we say according to NPR or according to OPB, where we're referencing legitimate sources. Okay, guys?
Okay, all right. So Broker J3, the big issue is immunity. Okay, according to the Supreme Court of the United States, in a ruling that was Trump versus the U.S., was July 1st, 2024, a former president is absolutely immune from criminal prosecution for actions within his exclusive sphere of constitutional authority. They said he is entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for his official outlets, official acts. But the court made clear there is no immunity for unofficial acts. And so, Broker J3, how do you feel about a president being exempt and he can just pretty much, because he feels like he can do whatever he wants right now?
Yeah. I feel like this. I don't think that no president, period, should get that kind of immunity. especially if they are committing crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's the case, then anybody that's president can do anything that they feel that they want to do because they know they don't have to fear prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like this. So the president may have a strong shield for official acts. We know that. But it does not extend automatically for his aides, advisors, contractor. And once he leaves office, the playing field changes.
Yeah, it changes quite a bit. Now, I have a problem with him not being prosecuted. And I think what happened is when they created a lot of laws, the Constitution and whatnot, they did not know that they would have a criminal in office.
No, I don't think they
planned it.
I don't think that they knew that they was going to have a criminal in the office at all. I have no idea if they thought that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Hustler Only, Jeremy, Caden Watkins. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate your support. Hey, Troy, how are you this evening? Now, this was what provoked this or stirred this up a little bit because, you're wondering now, these people are breaking the law now, what's going to happen? So this is the hook for this particular episode, Life After Trump. Means that the shield right now, they feel like they're protected, but it may drop. And many in his little orbit may face legal, ethical, professional exposure. They may risk being prosecuted.
Exactly. So let's build it from here, okay? Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's talk them through it.
Okay, so let's talk what counts as official acts versus unofficial acts. The official acts are core constitutional functions, say pardons, which he's doing. We're going to get to that the next episodes, executive decisions. The unofficials the acts are personal business, political campaign acts, and activities outside of the office. But guys, if you've been paying attention to the news, you know for a fact he doesn't care what they are. He just does whatever he want to do. He don't care what kind of acts they are.
No, he sure doesn't. And if someone in his administration uses the office for campaign purposes or misuses power outside of the Constitution, that's where exposure comes in. And the president's shield may not protect them.
Yes, that is true. So officials below the president don't get the same immunity. Some of them are walking around there breaking the law because, he tells them to do this and he tells them to do that, but they're still accountable. Even in a workforce environment, guys, if you're doing something that's against the law that your boss told you to do, you can be prosecuted as well. So the advisors, the lawyers, the cabinet members, they are more vulnerable because guess what? They can be prosecuted while he maybe has been granted immunity.
Oh, sorry, I was reading one of our viewers.
Okay, was it something positive?
I can't tell.
Okay, it's all here. It says, I'm the world, so it's all here. That's what the person. And then I was not on for 3 days. Okay, well, welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
All right, guys. So again, which this actually leads us to this. How wide is the net, that's protecting these people? Who's in it, which crimes we're talking about? War crimes, the ship bombings, and classified documents being mishandled, lawyer misconduct, and licensing revocations. So let's start from there, all right?
Okay, guys, so stay tuned. Thank you, Original Copy. And like I said, welcome back. I'm the world. Thank you, God. Hey, James McAllister. Thank you for being one of our top gifters. And Rose Hollis, welcome. Thank you for joining us today, guys. So after, we need to take a dive into the war crimes and the ship bombings, guys. Okay.
And not to mention some of those advisors.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump first into the war crimes, okay, and the ship bombings. Those kind of acts that when the power shifts, they become actually hot targets.
Yes, they are. So, for example, we've seen reporting that the advisors, I'm just going to use Stephen Miller, while serving in the Trump administration, he has privately floated ideas about bombing unarmed immigrant boats And according to the Yahoo News, Miller misused. He talked about it. He mused about bombing on armed immigrant boats. And y'all know they blowing up ships, supposedly drug ships, in boats and just killing people. I don't even know how many people they've actually killed.
And the crazy part about that is you're assuming that these are drug ships that's coming in, but you're shooting missiles from drones. So how do you even know that there's actual drugs on there? See, in normal circumstances, that's where the Coast Guard will come in and pull up in their boat, and search that ship just to make sure that there are no drugs on there. But just bombing them just because you believe that they are transporting drugs,
and then back to the point of due process. Give them an opportunity to, if they do have drugs on, take them in and do it like you're supposed to do it the American way, guys. They're not doing that. So according to the Democracy Now!, U.S. forces bombed a boat off of the coast of Venezuela, killing 4 people. And this has been raising questions about the legality of this type of operation.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's Pete Hegseth. According to the Daily Beast, Hegseth's own lawyers flagged Trump ordering drug boat killings, where unclassified video allegedly shows the boat linked to Venezuela being bombed and 14 people were killed. Now that creates serious international law that's been exposed.
So that's a total of 18 people that's been killed already. Okay, guys. So thank you, Benzo, Nick, Seckley, and Smooth. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and we thank you for being a part of the J&B family. Thank you.
All right. So now, why does this matter? Let me tell you why it matters. War crimes occur when there is intentional targeting of non-combatant vessels, improper use of force. Okay. Failure to distinguish military versus civilian objects, failure to follow the Geneva Convention and the international law, in the rule of engagement, it was kind of bent there.
Yeah,
there was an oversight and it was bypassed. Now that creates accountability when the boss leaves office. These things are going to come up when Trump is no longer there.
They're going to come up. And believe me, guys, even, we're talking about them breaking the law. Even when it comes down to the ICE agents, I can't remember what streaming network I was looking at, but even the ICE agents, when Trump leaves office, the people are going to remember that they were ICE agents. And people, it's going to get bad because people don't forget. And advisors who propose, enable, or implement these policies may face charges under what's called, back to the war crimes, the bombing of the boats, under what's called the international criminal law, domestic statutes, or civil suits. So they could face some serious crimes.
Exactly. Now, and remember, even if the president was involved, the immunity shield covers only some official acts. Now, the advisors, probably no shield at all, will help them out.
And this is why your president does not want to leave office. I can guarantee you, on a scale of 99%, he is not going to leave office peacefully. That's why he's trying to rig the election, cause martial law, so that he can remain in office, because he knows once he leaves office, he risks being prosecuted, guys. That's what it's all. That's the reason why he wanted to become president again, so that he would not be prosecuted. It's a game, guys.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why he's actually going after the people that actually was able to convict him. And it was a jury. It wasn't like these people just said, Trump, you did this, you're guilty.
Yeah.
The jury convicted him because they saw the evidence and they realized that Trump was guilty.
Okay, guys. So remember, they bombed the boat. The video is all out there. And who's going to take the fall for that when Trump is gone? Somebody has to take the fall for it. They're going to want some blood.
Exactly. So let's zoom in on that. Suppose Stephen Miller, drafted memos Hegseth defended operations.
Mm-hmm.
Contractors executed them. Now, after Trump leaves, all of this becomes evidence.
It does.
Investigation digs into the chain of command. Who signed off, who knew, and who waived the oversight. Now, that's going to be big.
And guess what? And the policy rollback matters. According to the Washington Post, the Trump administration, they dismantle efforts to hold Russia accountable for alleged war crimes against Ukraine. Y'all know how Trump feels about Putin now. He has pretty much said it, and this was either last week, latter part of last week. He's not giving them anything to defend themselves. He won't give them any type of ammunition to defend themselves. He's saying that they have to work it out between the two. He's pretty much telling him, Zelensky, that he has to give his land to Putin, which he wants. Pretty much that's what he's saying. He's saying the United States is not going to help him. So that's considered a war crime in Ukraine, thereby reducing oversight and increasing risk for later accountability. Somebody's going to be accountable for that as well.
Yeah. And, that's just so strange because it feels like there's a secret agreement between Trump and Putin, for Trump not to be able to help Ukraine so that, Putin can get what he wants because, they was doing just fine, under the Biden administration and the support of America. But when Trump came in, all of that support stopped. And you guys saw how his first meeting with Zelensky, really he just talked down on the man.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Zelensky coming back with the other world leaders, that was the only reason.
Oh God, I don't think he liked that.
That was the only reason that Trump couldn't do what he did in the Oval Office the first time.
Yeah.
So, so the scene is set. All right, guys. The war crime zone, plus the administration involvement, plus the advisors that was involved, it all equals exposure.
Okay, guys. So we're going to talk about the lawyers, the prosecutors, and the various licenses. Okay. So we're going to pivot to the legal professionals in Trump's orbit, his admin. These are folks like Pam Bondi and his newly appointed lawyer, attorney Lindsey Halligan, which she knows she's not qualified. And so according to, people that I speak to about what lawyers are required to do, they're not even supposed to take on a case that they know that they can't win. And so, those two attorneys, their law licenses and their reputations may collapse completely once oversight changes, once Trump leaves office.
All right. So basically, for example, guys, Bondi faces a complaint with the Florida bar alleging serious professional misconduct for allegedly threatening DOJ lawyers who declined to follow the president's political objectives. The complaint said that she pressured them to do Trump's agenda.
Okay, guys. And then Halligan, I mentioned it earlier, she was appointed interim U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, despite minimal prosecution experience. She don't have no experience, guys. But he wants someone in there that's going to do exactly what he tells them to do. Exactly. Same thing with Pam Bondi. It's all in an email that he sent her. He wanted her to prosecute James Comey and dig up dirt on Adam Schiff.
Yeah.
Those three. It was in the email. Okay, guys. So critics say her role was political, not merit-based whatsoever.
Yeah. And, it's really crazy because if you pay attention to Trump's whole administration, he kind of switched it up completely, did a 180 from his first administration because his first administration, he had people that actually cared about the law, cared about the Constitution, because they kept telling him, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you'll get in trouble for doing that. Trump made sure that his cabinet this time, they'll do whatever he says. They'll break the law.
Yes,
they'll dismantle the Constitution.
Yes.
They have no regard to the people of the United States whatsoever. But yet he keeps claiming he want to make America great again. But I'm trying to figure out which America is he referring to.
Okay, guys. Hey, Mac, Rob, 1966. I was born in 1966 as well. G Money, Big Love, and Mike, how are you guys doing this evening? So we're talking about life after Trump.
Exactly. Now,
this means that the cover may vanish, guys. Just think about it. Once he leaves office, that protection is gone. Then the inquiries will.
Yeah. Now, why does this matter? Because lawyers are bound by rules of professional conduct. Now, if they use their office to pursue political vendettas and quash investigations, like shut them down, knowing that they are valid investigations, or misapply their power, the ethics board, state bars, and licensing authorities can discipline them, suspend or revoke their licenses.
That's exactly right.
And also, what about the rest of the administration? They'll also face that scrutiny too.
That is true. Hey, Bam Bam, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Hey, New York. New York is in the house. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. Hey, Charles Harbison. All right, guys. So let's list some more figures that may be risk prosecution or disbarred because they've misused their power. You have some that did the document mishandling, election interference. Oh my God, campaign fund misuse. John Bolton, he's in there as well, even though.
but keep in mind, Doc B, these are allegedly the people that Trump feels need to be investigated, because these are the people that brought up things against him that helped to get him convicted.
And see, this is the key to all of this as well, is while you may be a friend of Trump and one day, and the next day you may be his enemy. So even with John Bolton, he wasn't exactly a Trump advisor in a direct way, but it shows how even high level officials can even face legal jeopardy. Because now just think about it, what's happening to John Bolton. According to Reuters, Bolton was indicted for sharing over 1,000 pages of sensitive government documents with family members, and he's in the hot seat now. He'll probably be indicted in the next week or so. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. So you asked for Noem and Leavitt. Now we already know about these two ladies.
It's like everything come out their mouth a lie.
Everything that come out their mouth seem like it's a lie. Now, we explore any credible reports of legal violation. If the record shows misuse of office, campaign finance violation, or any official misconduct, they too will enter that exposure list, because
yes, they will.
Yeah, Lord knows they are definitely involved.
Okay, so this is the big point about it, the main point. License risk goes beyond criminal charges. If a lawyer planned or executed politically motivated prosecutions, the bar board might act. Just think about it. There's a way that attorneys should act, because their license is on the line. If an official advised illegal actions, war crimes, misuse of power, then they're exposed and face prosecution as well.
Exactly. So it's like this. Your bar card won't save you, when the power shifts. And the power will shift, regardless of what Trump wants to do. The power will shift.
Yeah, because he won't be in office forever. That's how I see it. Okay, guys. So shout out again to those of you who are joining us. Hey, Gustavus. Hey, Sherwin Elston. Thomas Taylor, welcome back. Hey, Wandy, how are you doing this evening? So, guys, just think about it. Who's in this list going to get disciplined first? Who you think is going to get disciplined first? So, drop a pick in the chat. We'll call. Who you think is going to be in the hot seat when Trump leaves office first?
Probably Vance and Mike Johnson, if you ask me.
Oh God,
them two right off the bat. Pam Bondi, for sure. Definitely Pam. Steve Hegseth, for sure.
Stephen Miller,
Kash Patel.
Oh God,
oh Lord. I mean,
it's so many of them.
It's so many, and then the the borders are the guy, I can't remember his name right off the bat, the one that took the $50,000 bribe that they're trying to silence and saying that he didn't do it, but yet he still took that money. So, let's jump into that. Let's jump into the state level, the professional reckoning, and what comes next, .B.
Okay, so timeline of the after boss leaves accountability. Okay, for example, according to Newsweek, Illinois Governor Pritzker said maybe they're not going to get prosecuted today. He threw it out there, and I like that because he may be running for office for the presidency. He's saying, but after the Trump administration, they may be prosecuted because the statute of limitation has not run out. He's throwing it out there, Adam. And I'm saying to myself, I am so glad he was brave enough to say that to their faces, letting them know that you may be okay now, but once your boss leaves office, you may get prosecuted. You may do some jail time.
Exactly, because it's not going to last forever. So that signal matters. Governors, state attorney generals, licensing boards, they're all being prepped.
Okay. Gus said that I heard he tried to build something else on the White House property. Yes, he is. He's building what's this?
The ballroom.
The ballroom. I think it's $250 million.
Now again,
it don't make no sense.
I'm finna jump back into it because it makes no sense. We're in a government shutdown because you can't come to terms with Americans, not illegals. And I keep stressing that because a lot of people keep saying they want to give illegals insurance. We're not talking about giving no illegals insurance. We're talking about Americans that already have subsidized insurance, already have. Their rates are going to go up. Many of them have already received the letters in the mail telling them that because of the government situation, that their rates, the subsidies, will no longer be available and their prices will go up. Now, it's so crazy that you guys can't come to agreement because you're talking about wasteful spending dollars. You can give $20 billion to Argentina. Then you're talking about giving them some more money, even after they undercut our own farmers and hurt our farmers. You want to give them another $20 billion. You care about a rose garden, a $250 million ballroom for what? But you don't care nothing about the American people that's struggling. Right now, everything that you said was going down, prices and all that stuff, everything is going up. Everything is going up.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then as far as the Rose Garden, for those of you who don't know, what he did was he just cemented the whole thing. It looks ridiculous, but that's what he wanted to do. But the main thing is that all of this money that he spent could be money that's in the American people's pockets. That's what I'm having a difficult time with.
That's what I don't understand. It's like they get to make these calls on what to do with our taxpayer dollars. We're paying for it with our taxpayer dollars, but yet that top 1%, those billionaires, they're not paying for anything because you gave them the largest tax break in American history with that big ugly bill that the Republicans just recently passed.
And believe it or not, all of these people that are supporting him, they just don't know. Their days are probably limited as well.
Early next year they'll realize it. Early next year, when their insurance changes, they'll realize it then.
A lot of people are still on the Trump bandwagon.
And it's in the rural areas that vote for Trump.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And like I say, we don't have anything against Trump supporters, MAGA supporters, Charlie Kirk supporters. We don't have anything against those people. All I ask that people do is to educate themselves with more than just what you're watching on these social media outlets. Because if you're for Trump, the only thing that's going to come up on your timeline is positive things about Trump. Therefore, you need to do your research.
That's how the algorithm works.
Because of the algorithm, you need to do your research and homework, because if you have not been affected or, personally, in the end, you will be affected or someone close to you will be affected in a negative way. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the timelines. Okay, the president's going to leave office. The investigations are going to open, or better chance, they may reopen because some may be on the books now. The statute of limitations, as I mentioned earlier, can still be active. You got these aides, you got these advisors, these lawyers are going to get what? They're going to get subpoenaed. because guess what? They're going to put you in where you're going to have to testify. A lot of people, I never forget when they were interviewing Pam Bondi and they were asking her all these questions and she refused to answer it. One of this congressmen told her, one day you're going to have to come clean and you're going to have to tell the truth. And guess what? He's telling them, I don't care if it's 10 years from now, he may call her back and she's going to have to testify. That's what he was meaning by that. He said, one day you're going to have to tell the truth. And then the first headlines are going to drop and those headlines are going to go viral.
Exactly. And just to step back real quick, a couple of people that they actually interviewed did the exact same thing. Steve Hegseth, Pam Bondi, they all did the same thing. Every time they was asked questions, they sidestepped, they got loud, or they just outright didn't answer it, or they went off to a direct narrative talking about what Trump trying to do, blah, 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 but they did not answer the question. It's crazy when you have people with that much power that feel like they don't have to be accountable for their actions, but one day they will.
They will be accountable.
So who gets hit first? Now, that's the $1 million question. The war crimes advisor, the lawyers with bar complaints and prosecution with political bias. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because the thing of it is, and then, I think about this broker J3, some of the people that are in the Trump administration, I feel like they're selling their soul to the devil, because right now, I don't know if they're thinking about just getting paid. Especially Pam Bondi, because her office particularly is supposed to be non-biased. Is it that she wants to get paid? She likes to feel needed. I don't know what the issue is. It just bothers me sometimes, because I don't know why some people could violate their ethics and do something that they know is morally wrong.
I'm gonna tell you like this, B. A lot of these people are just trying to save their jobs, or keep a job. That I promise you guys, and I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. The same way you have term limits on governors, term limits on presidents, you need to have term limits on the Congress and term limits in the Senate. Know why? I'm gonna tell you,
and the Supreme Court,
and the Supreme Court as well. There should never be lifetime anything. As long as you keep getting voted, you can still be a senator. You can still be a House congressman, or whatever. All of that should not take effect. 8 years should be a max. Period. I don't care what branch you're in. 8 years should be a max. Same thing with the Supreme Court. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: a lot of those Republican senators and Congress people, they want to keep their jobs. So they're going to keep doing whatever is necessary to keep their job. I guarantee if there was term limits involved, a lot of people that knew that this is my last term, a lot of them may vote for what they really want to instead of going along with the party line, because they're not going to feel like they're going to get in trouble, or they're not going to be able to get reelected, because they're not going to care. They're going to care more about the American people then. But right now they don't.
Okay, guys. So guess what? When the boss leaves office, the tide's going to go out, and we're going to see who's swimming naked. We're going to see who's going to get prosecuted or indicted. We'll see. Okay. All right, guys. So my final thoughts is, the Supreme Court may have carved out a special shield of immunity for Trump himself, which I totally disagree with, because to me, they are the reason, John Roberts, the reason that he's doing some of the things that he's doing now. But that protection does not extend to the rest of the crew. That means the advisors who pushed illegal ideas, the lawyers who are bending the bar rules, and the officials who are abusing their power. Even Hegseth now wants to tell reporters what to say. It's crazy. Are all standing on shaky grounds. We've seen everything from alleged war crimes, with boats being bombed, to bar complaints against lawyers who put politics over justice. And then, of course, to governors like Pritzker openly promising that accountability will come after the Trump era. Life after Trump doesn't mean business as usual. It means the beginning of what's called a reckoning. Time for you to pay the piper. For me, the lesson today is clear. Power protects for a season, not forever, but truth and justice have a way of catching up with you. If you think you're untouchable, history shows your time will come.
It always does, Doc
Yes.
B. It always does. Now, for me, the biggest takeaway from this is Trump might be shielded. Okay?
For now.
But the team that surrounds him, they're in the storm. You can't order bombings, threaten lawyers, play with classified documents, and expect nobody to ever ask you questions.
Okay.
The Supreme Court said no immunity for unofficial acts. And that's where the floodgates are going to open, guys. It's not just about prosecutions. It's about reputation shattered, law licenses revoked, and legacies being rewritten. Life after Trump is a movement when the cameras keep rolling, but the boss is gone. And suddenly, all eyes will be on the people who thought that they were protected. So my final word tonight is simple. Accountability may be delayed, but it is never denied.
All right, I like that.
The real story is just beginning.
Okay, all right. We got Layla Days. Layla.
Oh, Layla Day. Hey, how you doing?
I says truthful and thanks for the advice. Yes, always do your homework. Always do your homework.
Good to see you. Yes. Good to see you.
Yes, so thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you. Hey, Kirk. Hey, George. Hey, Tony. Thank you guys for joining us. Hey, Black Magic. Hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. So before we go, I just want to say thank you again. I said it earlier at the beginning of the podcast. We see you guys, our loyal day ones, and those who are popping in every now and then to check on us, and our brand new listeners from Atlanta to Houston. We've got some people in Chicago to New York, Miami to LA, and even our folks overseas. We've got a couple that chime in from time to time overseas. You keep this movement alive, and we would not be here without your support. So much love to you. Whether you're riding in the car, tuning in at work, or watching us on replay, your support means everything to us. Your love and support. Special shout out to our TikTok family, our Facebook crew, our YouTube subscribers, and everybody that's dropping love in the comments and chat. You make this podcast more than just a show, and you make it all about family. So thanks for being a part of the J&B family.
Exactly. And also big shout outs to those that have been tapping on the screen, dropping those gifts and showing love while we were live.
Yes.
We see you guys and we appreciate you guys. Shout out to Baton Rouge, Charlotte, Philly, Dallas, and DC, and everywhere in between. Every city we name is proof that this conversation is bigger than us, okay? Y'all are the part and the reason why J&B Live Podcast movement is the way it is today.
Yeah.
Y'all ride with us, we ride with you.
Yes.
Keep dropping those comments, keep shouting out your city, and let's just keep this energy alive.
Yes. So if you miss any part of tonight's deep dive, you can catch the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or just wherever you get your podcasts. We are everywhere. We are on a lot of platforms. So just look for J&B Live. No space in there. Just look for the J&B Live podcast and subscribe so you don't miss the truth whenever we drop an episode. Remember, it's free to subscribe, guys. It doesn't cost anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And you guys remember to follow us on Bigo Live, Fanbase, Lemonade, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Just search @live with J&B. And also use the hashtag.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Hashtag podcast, hashtag real talk, hashtag viral video.
Yeah.
And for tonight's episode, make sure you guys hashtag life after Trump exposed. Yes. Okay, guys. Mm-hmm. Now leave a review and push us higher on those charts. Okay, guys. Yeah. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys. So this was Life after Trump, prosecuted, disbarred, and exposed.
And I'm your boy, your uncle, that guy, Broker J3.
And I am your girl, your favorite auntie, Dr. B.
And until next time, family, let's talk about it.
Thank you, guys.